It was last year around this time that I started seeing affiliate and digital marketers pop up on my feed and making tons and tons of money. And I kept watching them and thinking, oh my gosh, that would be so nice. Like, I am so exhausted. I have 4 kids, 5 and under. I'm literally stretched so thin. I could not imagine adding this one more thing to my plate. But I so desperately want what they have. Like, how do I have what they have, but also live in the season of life that I live in? But when I stepped back and actually looked at my life and thought, why am I so exhausted and so stretched thin? And yes, I'm not downplaying how hard of a season it is to have really tiny humans in your home. It is still hard for me. But what I was actually realizing was the reason that I felt so stretched thin was because my husband was so stretched thin at his job. And he was working tirelessly to make ends meet for our family. And that meant long hours, picking up extra shifts, doing extra. And that meant all of the burden of the home fell on me. We really felt like we were between a rock and a hard place. Like, how were we going to get out of this? It was when I came to the realization that life really is not going to get any easier, right? The kids will get older, but as they get older, they get busier. When they're tiny, they're so exhausting because they don't sleep and you have so much care over them. They are not independent whatsoever. But as they get older, there's a lot more things to fill in your schedule. So your time really is never going to be abundant unless you do something about it. And I had to come to that realization myself. So I stretched myself even thinner. I purchased a course at night. I went through the course. I listened to it on podcast style in my ears as much as I could. But when it came to setting things up, I had to carve out time. I stopped watching Netflix. I really didn't do a whole lot with friends for a month or two because this was what I devoted myself to. And what I needed to purchase a course, right? Not everybody needs to do that. But for me, I had to have skin in the game. I had to purchase something so that I was holding myself accountable. Because for me, I'm that budgeter, that person who pinches pennies, that every single dollar goes to something important and has purpose, right? And so if I purchased this and spent money on my education, I was going to follow through with it and I was going to change my life to make that happen. I will not sugarcoat it. For 1 month, I listened to the course, set everything up, and then for 3.5 months, I made zero money while posting 3 times a day on social media. So I don't want to say, oh, it was so easy to get through that 3.5 months. It's hard, right? When you're not making income, when you're not seeing that money come back to you, that's challenging. But what's my alternative? The alternative was just to go back to how life was without any end in sight. What I loved about digital marketing was the initial cost was a lot and very hard to do. But after that, there are ways to maintain digital marketing with relatively zero cost, right? You have to purchase a domain, which is 20 something dollars a year. But other than that, the roadmap course that I sell that teaches you how to do digital marketing, it teaches you how to set everything up on system.io, which has a free plan that is plenty for the beginner. It's plenty. And so you literally can get started for almost completely free after you know what you're doing. I offer mentorship when you purchase the Roadmap Digital Marketing course from me. Comment the word mentor and be sure that you are following me, and I will reach out and we can just chat about if that is a good option for you.